Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So, what are you doing today?
I don't know. Probably taking a drive so we can calm down.
Oh, okay. Because there are several YouTube people that write me and they say that they want to see your picture. They want to see who you are on the video.
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
Well, hello to those.
Okay, my wife says to say hello to all of you, by the way, as if you just heard. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for testing with me.
You bet.
Anytime, right?
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Bye. Hello, and thank you for watching another adventure of Telco Steve's Workbench here on YouTube. Today we have for you a wooden wall telephone. It's an oak wood wall telephone, and it was available to the public from a company called Montgomery Ward back around 1900 through 1910, somewhere in that time frame. The Montgomery Ward telephone is a two-box telephone. One box, top, lower, two boxes. The top box contains the magneto and the switch hook, along with the ringer coil. This phone has been augmented with a rotary dial, pulse rotary dial, Western Electric 5H dial. That's because the customer did not want a DTMF touch-tone dial. Now, I repaired this phone for a gentleman, Jeff, thank you very much, and he just didn't want touch-tone. So he did want the dial in the top box, which took a lot of change of the wiring and the way the phone was going to work. When it arrived, as you can see from the picture, it had to undergo a surgery based upon the wiring. Transmitter was replaced, as you can see from the picture. It looked like something that had been in the bottom of the ocean for about 10 years. I have no idea why it looked that way or what the story was, but that obviously had to be replaced. The receiver element was replaced as well. So the line comes in and plugs into this modular jack down here. This jack arrangement is something that I put on every single telephone that I recondition. Why do I do that? I'm going to tell you why. Because when you get it, I don't know if your phone jack is 20 feet away, 50 feet away, down the stairs, over the roof, down to the basement, and all you have to do is just run the modular cord from your jack right through the back of the phone. There's also a notch on the bottom to come up from the bottom. And you simply just, you don't need a screwdriver, you don't need a PhD, you don't need a master's degree, thank God. You just take it and you plug it in. Simple, easy, schmeezy. That's the way I like to do things. So, and here's another reason. Have you ever had it? Let's put this on. Seems to appear to be on. Have you ever had it where you took the little plastic plug and the clip inevitably, I don't know, maybe 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it takes, somebody does something to it, you accidentally mess with it, and the little tab, the locking tab they call it, that stupid thing always breaks. Now you have to get the cord, and what if the cord is mounted into the phone? Now you got to get the screwdriver, and if you don't know phone work and you don't know wiring, how do I replace it? How do I do it? I do this so that I can make it as good as I possibly can for the people that I service, and this is why. Because if I were to buy this, there goes the dog. He can't win on these videos. Quiet on the set. Where was I? If I was to get this and I didn't know how to do telephone wiring, I would really appreciate that. So I simply just do it from the pure aspect of consideration for others. That's a big part of our problem in our country today. Consideration for others. I don't mean to preach, but let's face it, when you get right down to it, that's exactly what it is. When you do not have consideration for others, then you rule like a nut if you're in power, and you get pissed off and start marching around and doing all kinds of things because you're inconsiderate. So on everybody's part, let's try to practice a little bit of humanity. And let's try to understand we're all in trouble with what's going on. But we're all going to get through it eventually. God forbid some of us might not. Therefore, it's time to change your attitude while you can, from that aspect alone. So let me go forward. Up here is the ringer coil. The ringer coil was unfortunately damaged in transit by the shield on the magneto that had popped up, as you can see from the picture. Later on, we found after we started testing it, the battery has the ringer, the ringer coils have very small copper wiring. It's small. It must be, I have no idea, 36 gauge. I mean, it's small. Size of a human hair, honestly. And it has a lead that goes from the left and the right, or both coils, that tie together. Then it has the two that have the input for the voltage, the ringing voltage. Those all broke. So I had to resolder them back in and put in a support point for the wiring after I soldered it back in. And this wiring, all the wiring has been replaced. The receiver is a new cloth cord, black and red rattlesnake, pin connector cord. The transmitter mount has some holes in the top that allow for these leads, they're pin connectors, they're coiled cords, to fit through the top holes that go into the transmitter body. The other two over here were used because the coil, the inductor coil at the time, was in the transmitter housing. And that's what those two are. They're really not used since the network and wiring is all now down below in what is termed the bottom box as a battery compartment. The battery compartment had a shelf unit that was usually steel or iron. It really doesn't matter. It was fairly heavy duty. And two dry cell batteries that were about the size of a large beer can sat in that area. The wiring would come down and connect to those batteries to provide what they termed at the time as local talk battery. Now we have, present day, we have what is known as common battery. Common battery is voltage, 48 volts of ground. The DC voltage used for the talk bath is provided by the central office. Back then, they ran their business really efficiently. They made the customers pay for the battery. And, honestly, in a lot of cases, they made for groups of people that were together in a rural setting, band together, and basically build their own telephone network. The Montgomery Ward's brochure for this phone, in fact, not only has a section in it where it describes the phone, they had two different type models that they were using called the Diamond and the, I always get it wrong, Thonward and Diamond models. The Diamond model had a glass front in it. That was their models that they used. This brochure's from 1900, and they were selling the phones along with telephone poles, pliers, gloves, lines, tell you how to dig a hole for a telephone pole, run the wire by code. You couldn't have it any lower to a passageway that was less than 20 feet. And they bridged the phones together. They called them bridging telephones. That's where the terminology for telephonies, as I call it, of a bridged line. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, for the Montgomery Ward rebuilt telephone, we're going to be calling the customer. We're going to see how he's doing and tell him all the, then we'll have a conversation and see what goes on. So let's give him a call. I can't put the bridge unit on while I'm dialing because I've got it bridged and it won't complete the call. It's the way it's hooked up, so I'll turn on the monitor when we got the call going. So, Okay. There we go.
Hello?
Hello, Jeff.
Yeah?
This is Steeper. How you doing?
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Okay. Good, good. Okay, so Jeff, you've been a great customer. I really appreciate your patience on the phone. I think that you'll really enjoy it. It's a magnificent phone from the 1900s. The Montgomery Ward called them the model diamond model and the Thonward model or some other name, but it's definitely a really a fantastic unit.
Steve, I can't wait to receive it. I'm dying to get it. I know the pictures you've sent me have been fantastic, and your voice sounds great. The sound and quality sound fantastic. I just can't wait to get it and put it up on the wall. It's a great conversation piece.
You bet.
Not only is it a conversation piece, it's actually a real working phone. It's just so cool. I'm thrilled, and I really want to thank you, and I appreciate all of the close communication that the open channels that we've had with one another, and you're staying in touch and keeping me informed has just been fantastic. And I want to thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you very much. That's really, thank you very much. Okay, Jeff, I'll be emailing you. Wait a second. Okay, hang on a second, Jeff. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up now. I do appreciate you watching another edition of Toko Steve's Workbench. And remember what I always say. If you have somebody that loves you, get them, grab them, tell them that you love them. We live in a crazy world and you never know. Tomorrow might be the end. So I want to thank you for watching another edition of Toko Steve's Workbench. And have a great day. Okay, that's that.